Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your host, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, now you're listening to episode 1180 here on Gamertag Radio. This is your host, Danny Pena. And on this episode, I recorded a great conversation with my good friend, Fiona Nova. She's the main character of the new third-person story-driven game, The Gunk, which is coming out on December 16th on Xbox and also PC. And yes, you could download this on Xbox Game Pass. We had a great conversation, and I recorded this during my break at G4. And we sat down and talked about her career as a content creator, and we talked about a lot of things. And I think this is like a must listen. And of course, this is the first time for her doing an interview about the Gunk. So I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say once you listen to the full episode. So shout out to Fiona. That was a lot of fun just recording this podcast with her. So yeah, we're going to play it right now. But first, head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episodes. You also can find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. We're there. Follow us, subscribe, and also post a review. If you would like to be part of our family segment or episode, here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
So shout out to everybody that have been sending me messages, tweets, and pictures and DMs. Because just recently, Spotify just posted the 2021 Wrapped. And a lot of people have been sending their stats, not only with music, but also podcasts. And I got to see the results of a lot of people that listen to Gamertag Radio worldwide. So thank you so much for supporting GTR during this year and even the previous years too. It means a lot to me because, we've been working very, very hard on just posting content twice a week for the past couple of years now, man. So thank you so much for the support. And yeah, get ready for next year. It's going to be our 17th season. Yes, 17th year here posting nonstop content on Gamertag Radio. So I just want to say thank you very much to everybody for the support. All right, so now let's play my conversation with Fiona Nova about the new game, The Gunk. And we'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
All right. Well, hey, everyone. My name is Fiona Nova. I am a host at G4 TV, and I am also the voice of Ronnie in the new game coming out December 16th called The Gunk.
And you forgot something else. You're also movie director.
I am a director.
Yes.
I sometimes don't know if I should talk about that, but
Why
yes.
not? That's your work.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, it doesn't have anything to do with gaming or any other thing that I do, so I'm like, okay, no. No, I am a director. I directed my first short film recently called The Laundromat Off Malibu, and I love directing, and I directed and show ran another show called Dead Little Roosters, which is another interactive murder mystery online comedy content. And I want to keep doing more movies and short films, so I have my next one coming out next year. Like we're in pre-production right now, so a lot of projects happening. It's a good year. After like a real bad and shit year, this is good.
That's really good. And you know what? I read one of your tweets I think it was like a week ago or so. Maybe during launch week. I can't remember of G4. Yeah. You said something that you went through a lot, seeing people hating and bad tweets and everything. And now you're like in a good place now.
Yeah,
mentally,
Yeah, because it's tough. Obviously, you would know, and a lot of people know. Just like being a person of color in this gaming industry can be tough at times. And that's something that I kind of dealt with since I started. I mean, I'm 25 now. I started really being on camera since I was like 20, so it's been about 5 years. And not being welcomed into a space that you want to be part of is obviously sucks for your self-esteem and for many things. But I always felt the need. I always felt like if I have to push myself to be there and to be a part of it so other people can come in, I think that was always worth it. So I think coming into G4, which is honestly, G4 is like the most diverse workplace I've been in ever. Like genuinely, it's like everyone of any kind of person here is here, and I think that is amazing. And it's just a good step to where we need to be. And I feel like coming into G4, I was welcomed a lot more. I was given the opportunity to really become myself, and they've given me the confidence to really do things that I felt like if I did a year or two ago, it probably would have been not welcomed and not appreciated. So, yeah, it sucked, but now it's getting better, and I feel like right now at this point I am in like a really good place with myself, and also just in a good place in general.
That's good, really good to hear. And before we talk about the Gunk, I'm really excited to talk about that. What was like your first gaming console? Your first
gaming
game
console?
First gaming console, or maybe your first game that got you like, man, I want to be part of this industry.
Yeah.
Like, was there anything like that when you were younger?
Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I was playing video games. I don't think I wasn't doing Call of Duty or Super Smash. I wasn't really doing those things. But I remember the first game I really picked up, and it was from my mom. Is she had I forgot what Nintendo it is, but it is the gray essential box that's black and white. Okay. It's like the gray Nintendo Game Boy, and she used to play it, but she only had Tetris on it, the cartridge.
Best game ever.
Best game ever. I would play that nonstop, and she just taught me how to. I would play nonstop. I am so good at Tetris right now because it just felt like I've been playing it all my life. That was the first game that I've ever grinded on because in the game what you do is you try to play it so the rocket can blast off.
Yes. Also, you were like completely in line, so it's not making lines. So you were.
No, I was.
I think you had to make like a certain amount.
Yeah, you were up at a point and you have to take all all the blocks down.
I'm impressed because you mentioned the ship that.
Yeah.
That one was the hardest difficulty. That was the last one.
Yes, that's the last one. It's always you do that one, and then you always want the rocket to. And my mom was really good at it, but I remember just constantly playing it, and so that was, I guess, my first game. But then I started getting into, obviously, Super Mario Bros. 3. I would play that. I played Legend of Zelda. I played Gosh, I'm thinking Kirby. It was games. Nintendo. I wasn't like a PlayStation or Xbox. I didn't have that available at that time, and I also didn't have anyone I have older half siblings, but I didn't have anyone above me essentially who were that was influencing me to play these games, right?
Yeah.
So but really the first time, I know it's a little bit later in my life, but I'm playing video games. I love video games. I love Legend of Zelda. I think I played all of them, and any RPG I would find. But I think the first time I really got competitive in gaming was FPS, was Overwatch. That was
that's a great game.
And I mean, I was playing. Gosh, it came out when I was 19. So I was that was when the first time I was this is. I wish I discovered this early, FPS competitive, because I would have been grinding this. But also, pros and cons. I might have not had a life. You know what I mean? But at that time, I did not have a life. I was just constantly grinding Overwatch. And that really opened my eyes to streaming, playing games, playing FPS games competitively, and also possibly being on camera as a host, and doing those kinds of things.
And that was your first time that you started streaming and everything, and when was okay, I could turn this into a career. Was it also during that time too, or later?
Yes, no, it was during that time. It was streaming was starting to pick up, and I was you know what, let me start doing it. I would play Overwatch on it. And I think at the end of the day, I really wanted to make content, like online content, whether it be produced or I was like really into YouTube like videos, like I would make vlogs and stuff. So I really wanted to make content, and I felt like streaming helped me figure out what avenue I wanted to be when it comes to creating content. And I felt like I was able to create content like hosting things or becoming like an on-camera personality. So that's why I was really getting good at these games. And then that's when I actually hosted Overwatch the World Cup. What was it, 2016?
Was that in New York City or was
No,
it here in LA?
it was in LA.
Okay.
I think it was 2016.
So with Malik?
No, 2018.
Also with
Malik was there. Malik was there, but it was during BlizzCon, so he was actually doing the whole BlizzCon thing. I think it was 2018, not 16, 18. And what I was able to do to get into it was because my first language is French, so I was able to go in as like a French translator for the French team.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I was going in there and I was kind of translating their interviews. I remember interviewing Poco, who was part of the French. He was in the French team. And like, I forgot who else.
How was that doing it in French? Like,
so it was my first time. I was 2018. I was like 20, 21. Had no idea. Like French. Doing that made me realize that translating things is not as easy as it looks, especially on the spot. So those hosts who are translating from like Korean and Chinese, all like a lot of those Asian languages, I'm like, whew,
yeah, real time.
I don't know. Real time, I'm like, I don't know how they did it. So obviously, I tried my best. I did what I had to do, but it helped me get my next gig, which was I started working at Rooster Teeth as a content creator. So, there's little things, even though they weren't the best things that I've done, it just kind of helped me build this resume that made me get noticed enough to get to a place where I needed to be.
Yeah, so you were there in Rooster Teeth for how long?
2 years.
2 years. And then from there, that's when
I came to G4. I moved from New York to Austin.
Same here.
I never
not Austin.
Not Austin, but you moved. Yeah, but like I was like, never would I think I would live in Texas. Like it was like I was kind of going through that. I'm like, why the hell am I moving to Texas? But I mean, Austin was a great place to just be at. I was in a stable position. I was getting a salary. I was making content. I met some really great people. And I was able to do something amazing there. And then I felt like, I was there for 2 years, and I felt like I needed to take that next step, which was G4. And then they reached out. And I came on to G4 as a creative producer at first for X-Play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were part of the team.
I was part of the team. The team was me, Leffler, and Megan, and we were the team. And Jefferson came later. But yeah, so and I think that really helped me figure out what the G4 voice was, because I did not grow up with G4. I did not know what G4 was. I remember Grace hit me up saying like, "Hey, we'd love to talk to you about G4," and I was like, what are you talking? What's G4? It's interesting what you're telling me. I think this is amazing. Why hasn't anyone thought of this sooner? But also, what is G4? Then, understanding where the history came in. Obviously, they were way ahead of their time. And now it's like, now I like love it. I'm like, I wish I knew about it at my age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but even before you started working at G4, a company hit you up like, hey, we'd like for you to be involved or our game, do voiceovers. Have you ever done voiceovers before?
No, I was doing voiceover for Rooster Teeth. I was doing Red versus Blue. I did Red versus Blue 0, and that was like my real first VO acting experience. With the Gunk, it was more. I didn't really know what to expect. I think I was like, I wanted to get more things for my reel and like more things under my belt when it comes to VO, because it's fun. VO is a lot of fun. And doing the voiceover, like it was in quarantine. I was in my closet, I'm just doing it for fun, really. I didn't even expect to get paid, but like obviously I got paid. But I was like just doing it for fun. And then the more lines I was doing, the more I was like, okay, wait a minute, this is a big game. Even I was like, it's just gonna be like a small indie game that like. But the more lines I was doing, the more, and then they would show me screenshots. I was like, oh wait, hold on.
that you got nervous or you got more hyped to work
Oh,
on the project?
I think I got both. I got more hyped, but I also realized this might be a little bigger than I anticipated, and that that I might need to talk about it on like this is a bigger project than I anticipated. I was just expecting to do this, have the experience, get it under my belt, and then move to like the next project. But like this is a big game, and like you love to mention it. You're like, bro, mad people are going to be playing this game. And when you think about it, like, yes, a lot of people are going to be playing this game, and I don't even realize it yet.
Because I could think of it like this, and the reason why I'm mentioning this to you, even before we started recording, I love highlighting, people of color that are in the industry, because a lot of us back then, we didn't get to see that, know? So seeing you and other people like my co-hosts doing things to other companies, and Khalif and Malik, I think that's important to mention that and talk about it, because I feel like you and a lot of other people are going to help open the doors for a lot of the next generation.
Oh my God.
Are going to be part of
this. That's all I want. That's all I want. And I know you feel like there is that door there that's kind of closed, but I want it to be a little more open, and I want it to be open to anyone who wants to do anything. And I think like one of the things I love to tell people whenever they ask me like, how did you get in on this? How do I get in on this? It's like, you just have to I was doing little things okay in an okay matter. Like I wasn't perfect in everything. And I think that was one thing I needed to learn. You learn in the hard way is you don't have to be perfect in everything. Like just get the experience that you can. Like keep going, keep working, keep finding the things you want to do, and just keep
My question to you is, okay, so you realize, okay, this is going to be a big game.
Yeah.
How long was the process? Because I know you mentioned to me it started on like January. And it was almost a whole
February.
year?
Yeah, it was February. I got picked in February, and I remember the reason why I remember. They got it. Yeah, they got it. The reason why I remember that so well was because it was the week where in Austin there was that awful snowstorm that like took out Texas.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
And it was that week where that week was where it was my first week at G4.
Okay.
And I didn't have any internet. I remember I was like trying to find internet to talk to Leffler. I didn't have any internet. It was my last day at Rooster Teeth that whole week. Last day at Rooster Teeth, first day at G4, and also the day that I remember getting that email saying, hey, we want you as the voice of Ronnie. Could you let us know when you could finish like these couple lines? And I remember telling him like, hey, there's a really bad snowstorm right now, so give me a couple weeks, because I don't even know if I'm gonna have electricity when I get back home. So I was like, a whole thing. But yeah, I remember it was February, and I finished about in September. Like my final lines were in September, so all in my closet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And I can't wait to hear I know they mix it down and everything like that, but I'm so now when I play, I'm like, all right, she recorded this inside her closet.
Yeah.
Is it a big closet?
No, it was like a tiny closet. It would get really hot in there sometimes because you want like it to dampen the noise. So there's just a lot of things around. But it was all in my closet.
Is this your first time actually talking about the Gunk?
Yes. Well, I know I did like a couple like video stuff for Thunderful.
Yeah. Oh, like watch
just explain
the direct or whatever, the presentation.
But
not like interviews or anything like that, right?
Yeah. No, I think this is the first time I got like interviewed for it.
But honestly, there are gonna be a lot of people.
I have a couple more interviews that are gonna come up soon. But I'm like, so again, I was not expecting this. I was expecting this looked like a cute game. And I was like, a black female protagonist.
Yeah,
I
was gonna ask you like, what you could tell us about the character.
Ronnie. Well, she's in the game she's mixed, but she is a black female protagonist, and she's just a bubbly character, and like I voice. Essentially, you're playing as me, like as my voice, and as Ronnie, and you are talking through a lot like walkies and everything about like to your other partner named Bex, and it's a lot of talking through walkies, and also but you do interact with her as well, and it's just like it's beautiful. It's like about a beautiful planet that's like overran by gunk. So you have to like scoop up the gunk. People compare it to like Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, that's pretty cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of people love Luigi.
Like the sucking, like the mechanic of sucking and the machine and everything. But yeah, Ronnie's like a great character, and I felt like Ronnie was like just me, a little hyper me. But yeah.
You know, the first time I got to see the trailer, and I had no idea you were involved.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was E3. Xbox was the one that showed it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this game looks very interesting. I definitely want to check this out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Was it announced that during that time that you worked on this project? Or
No, I think they actually put out. If it was E3, I don't think they even had like the casting yet. I think it was just they had like kind of regular VO. But the time when they announced it was Gamescom. Which was this that's when my voice was actually heard as Ronnie and announced was Gamescom. Was it like July or
I
August?
think it was like August.
August, yeah.
August, yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
I mean, when they announced it before they even mentioned the cast, where you were like, let me see what people are saying online.
That's what I should have done at first, but like I was talking to the studio, I was again like my expectations weren't low, but I was like, "Oh, this is just for like I'm practicing." So I was talking to the studios. I was like I was really excited. But then eventually I was like doing these lines and everything. And I was like, let me look this up. I'm like, wait a minute. I remember looking at it and like, I kept looking at it and I was like, I don't think this is the game. I was like, I don't think this is a game that I'm voicing in. And I would like look more to see if there was, I was like, this is the game I'm voicing in? Like it looks like a really beautiful and amazing game. And I guess that was just my fault for expecting anything else. And I was like, this is amazing. This is like the most amazing opportunity that just kind of was the most random opportunity. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. So now when you heard, okay, it's announced, it's coming out, Xbox and everything, and then they say, oh, it's coming on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Did that get you even more nervous? Because that's a lot of people.
I know, you keep saying that. I'm just saying.
Think about it. There's going to be people that are just like hype about the game, which they're going to download it day one. And there's others like, oh, what is this? The Gunk? And they go
get it. They download it.
And like, and they'll become fans, you know? So like, that's the part that I'm excited about. Just to see the reaction from everybody. You know?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a big, I am now. I'm starting to get into more of the Game Pass aspect of Xbox because I've been downloading a lot of games and I'm like, I should just get the Game Pass. What am I doing? You mentioning that, I was like, oh no, I need to think about this a little more, and it makes me nervous, but it's also really exciting just because it's like, how did this even happen? I knew it was gonna be on Game Pass, but I just didn't understand the numbers. I didn't understand all of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. It's on Xbox. I saw it's Xbox exclusive, like Windows exclusive. I was like, this is awesome. This is a cool game. I was like, oh, not Steam?
Yo,
you know what I mean? I was like, oh, not Steam? I was like expecting Steam.
And not only that, but I was watching the presentation. You meeting Mark Hamill. Well, how was that? How was that
great.
process?
Yeah, that was great. It was just that again just fell on my lap randomly. It was like, hey, Mark Hamill's hosting the Thunderful event, and obviously you're the voice of Ronnie, which is one of the bigger games that are coming out for us. Could you please make an appearance? So it was great. We went to his place. It was all recorded at his place, and it was so much. That was the most random. I remember I was telling Shaw, who's like the showrunner for Attack of the Show, and I was like, hey, I have to go to Mark Hamill's house tomorrow morning, so I will not be here for whatever rehearsal you need. Yes. And he's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how this happened, but I'm doing that. But it was so great. It was like everyone was so nice. He was so nice. Everyone was great. Great sport. Yeah.
You know what was cool? Seeing Sarah Bond introducing the Gunk.
Sarah Bond saying my name. Also,
your name.
Yeah, that was another person that I wasn't really aware of was Sarah Bond. And then the moment I like heard about heard her talking about the Gunk, I was like, she's amazing. Like I'm like, she's amazing. She's like the most. I absolutely look up to her. Like she's an amazing person, and I'm so excited that she gets to talk about this game. Like what. It's like I don't know. I am like over the moon at this point. I'm kind of just going.
You're excited. I can tell that
I'm
you're
excited.
like.
Yeah.
a little nervous.
I'm so
but
nervous.
But very excited to see the reaction for people playing.
Absolutely.
Now, for those that are curious about the Gunk, like why they should play it, why should you check it out?
You should check it out because I think it is one of those games where it's and those are the kind of games that I love. Is the story is very you get engrossed in the story. And it is a video game, and you get to experience something a little different than just like a regular RPG or a regular story game. I think you also get really involved with the characters and the relationship that the characters have, and also the fact that you know this beautiful planet is now overrun by this like gross, heavy thing, and you're cleaning it up. In that way, I feel like it's nice. I mean, I love it. I love Ronnie. I love Bex. I love these characters. I think they're very charming in their own way, and it's a beautiful game. Like, it looks beautiful. So yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those games. You know, you're just like, it's Sunday, you're sitting on your couch, and you just want to finish up the Gunk. You know, just play the game. I don't think it's gonna be like a stressful game at all. So
that's good. Now, for those that, what advice would you give them? For those that, man, they get to see, they get to hear you play a character or in other projects you worked on. They want to do voiceover. Like, what
voiceover?
tip? Yeah, what tip we would give them? Because there's a lot of people that are talented. They just don't know what to do, where to go.
Yeah,
what advice you would give?
I think I'm probably the least. Probably the last person you want to take advice from when it comes to VO, because really it was kind of. I know it's like it happened on accident, but it's something that I really do love. But I think at the end of the day, the bigger advice, which could be applied to anything, is to I know sometimes it can feel like you're doing a lot and you're maybe not going forward fast enough, or maybe you don't have enough patience. But at the end of the day, the more you work on it, the more eyes you get on it, the more you will be able to do, the more you will get recognized for your efforts. And I think some people do give up a little too early, but I know it's easy to just give up. Why not just push through it, because that's something you do love to do. So that's my advice, is to just keep going, keep doing it. Find any way you can do it. Find any solution, like any kind of route you see that you can take to get to where you want to go. Just take it, because at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it, and the efforts will show.
Yeah. Would you like to do more projects like this in the future? And if you have an opportunity, one game, a publisher studio contacts you, which game would that be?
I would have to be. It would have to be like a League of Legends. Not that I really like play that game, but like voicing in a game like League of Legends would be awesome. Would be like just straight up awesome. Or
what about Arcane, like the series?
That
would be
yes, man. Please put me in Arcane season 2. No, I would love to do that. I think that's like a lot of fun. I think games and also animated series, like I'm all about it. It just is like a lot of fun. So
what's next for you, Fiona, besides work on projects here with G4?
Yeah, what's next for me is G4, and also just a movie, the next movie I want to make, and trying to get my voice on Arcane season 2.
There you go. Now
there you go.
There you go, Riot. I'll probably send it to Riot. Like, hey, I'll hook him up.
Hook me up, because I'm gonna try to see if I could get a character there. But yeah, no, it's fun.
No, I just want to say, Fiona, I know we just met. You know Rihanna for a very long time.
I know, yeah.
But we just met recently. But I just want to say I'm really proud of you, and I can't wait.
You're the best.
Can't wait for the future. Can't wait to
You're
see.
the best.
Well, my friend all the way from New York.
From New York. We always greet each other, New York.
New York. Yeah, no, I'm proud of you. Very, very proud.
Of course. Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
And thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks.
This is Gamertag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so shout out to Fiona. That was a great conversation. But for those that listen, please post your tweets everywhere, social media. Let me know your thoughts about the conversation that I had with her, the interview. And are you excited about the Gunk? Are you planning to download the game and play it on Xbox or PC? Look, if you have Xbox Game Pass, I highly recommend it. Even when Fiona mentioned that it's kind of similar to, it has that vibe of Luigi Mansion. I was like, yo, I am so ready to play this, man. So yeah, it was a great conversation. I really enjoyed talking to her over there, man, at G4. So shout out to her. All right, everyone, we're going to wrap it up here, man. But yeah, stay tuned. We only have a couple episodes left before we have the Game of the Year episode. That's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, next week is the Game Awards. So the next episode, I'm going to have a conversation with the guys, and we're going to predict who we think was going to win and everything. That's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, yeah, I want to talk to Paris. Hopefully, we could do this maybe during the launch or before. We'll see, of Halo Infinite coming out, the campaign. That's something that I definitely want to talk to you guys about, man. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll see. All right, so yeah, stay tuned, guys. We have so much content coming up in the future. So much content, not only from now, because of course we have a couple weeks off because of the holiday season, but 2022, lots of cool stuff coming up. Stay tuned for that. All right, so thank you for listening to Gamertag Radio episode 1180. This is Danny Pena. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.